Let's get started. I'm happy you're all here. I am really excited about making videos and taking awesome pictures this summer with all of you, and learning how to edit and all those special effects based on the survey, based on the discussion that we did yesterday. A lot of you are excited to learn how to make your videos better, add special effects, and learn how to edit and make those videos look professional. I also see some of you are really interested in being YouTubers. So we're going to talk about that as well during the class. Again, please feel free to turn on your cameras so I can get to see your faces and get to know you. And if you have any questions at any time, you can raise your hand, you can unmute, and you can ask them. We're a small enough group that that will work out just fine. We won't be talking on top of one another. Okay, so first things first, again, I'm Mrs. Bowman, and I kind of want to go over just a few things before we get into the bulk of what we're going to be doing today. Number one, I apologize that I will probably be doing most of the talking today. That's not normal, but for the first class, it kind of has to be that way. But I promise tomorrow we're going to be doing a lot more doing. So just setting you up. I will be recording our sessions because you probably already noticed that the recording is going on. The only reason I'm recording is because if you might need to miss a class, or you might want to go back and look at something that we went over. So I will be posting our sessions on the classroom. However, I will not post your faces, and I will not post any of your work. So the only thing that you'll see is the things that we complete in class, like our discussions and any demonstrations. So if you are okay with that, please give me a thumbs up, so that you know that I told you that you're recording and we are okay with that. Okay, I see lots of thumbs up, good. And if any of you have an issue with that, please feel free to reach out to me privately if you don't want to talk about it right now, and we can discuss some alternatives, okay? All right, so we have about 17 people in here, that's great. So please be on time, okay? And thanks to all of you who were here on time. Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Okay, and here is our module page. Here's our course page. I'm sure that most of you have already taken a look at this. First things first, though, I'm going to hop over to Monday's page just to remind you to make sure you complete that survey. It has questions about digital cameras. If you should need a digital camera, you don't have access to one, I have some people, a few cameras that I can lend out to people. And once I figure out how many people need them, I will send out an email as to when you can come to school to pick them up, because that's important. You have to be able to come to the school. I can't come to you. If you don't have a smartphone or you don't have a digital camera and you absolutely don't want to use your Chromebook camera, fill out that survey and let me know if you need one, and then I will be contacting you when you can come pick it up. It's good to have a tripod, but a short one, I like tabletop ones because you can put them anywhere. They're a lot more versatile and easy to use, more flexible than a taller one, but either one will work. If you didn't participate in yesterday's class discussion, please make sure you do that too, because it tells me a little bit about what you want to learn during the course. So far, most people are saying, I want to learn how to make really good videos, and we're going to learn how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to hop over to our home page, actually. I want to hop over to our home page, because there's a couple things I just want to hit on that page for you. Okay, so we talked a little bit already about digital cameras and tripods. Let's talk about the recommended items for the course. You do not need any of these things except a camera of some sorts. I have a digital camera, and I also have a smartphone. I'm going to pop over to stop sharing so that I can show you what I have. So here's my smartphone, and it's hooked onto this little tabletop tripod. I hope you can see it. What's nice about this tripod is that you can move the legs around, but you can also bend them and twist them, and they hook on things. Like if you wanted to take a picture from higher up, you could wrap the legs around and take a picture with your smartphone. It comes with an attachment. This is something I got on Amazon. It was like 25 bucks. There are cheaper tripods. I found one on Amazon for $10. So it's nice to have a tripod because it keeps your camera steady. Now this is an attachment, and I can twist it off. Most tripods have a screw at the top so that you can attach. Here's that attach. That's how you attach it. You just screw it back on there. All right, so this tripod also comes with if you have a GoPro, it comes with a GoPro attachment as well. This is just a small digital camera that I have. It's a great digital camera. It's a Sony. These run about $85 to $100 depending. It's a really good, easy to carry camera to use for recording and taking pictures. And then this one, this is my professional digital camera. This guy runs about $600. But hey, I have a job and I save for it. So you might not be able to have something like this. Maybe your parents do and they'll let you borrow it, but it's not necessary. Again, it isn't. But it does have a way to attach it. It's got one of those little screws so that you can attach it to the tripod and keep it steady. So does this one. One of the nice things about cameras is that you don't have to buy new to get a really good camera. If you want to purchase a camera, there are all kinds of people who are selling their equipment. They sell it all the time. Professionals are selling their old stuff to get better stuff. And then you could get a really good camera like this for like 50 bucks, depending on how much they spent on it and how old it is. And there's all kinds of places that you can look online for people selling equipment. But again, it's not necessary. Just recommended that you have some sort of camera that can take video and that can take pictures. And most of you, I'm sure, will be using your smartphones. The other nice thing about this tripod, it's got a remote. So when you set it up somewhere, you can take the picture or start the video from this remote. And that is really nice, so that if you do, like, hey, say I'm going to go climb a tree and wrap this up in a branch and take some video from up there, you can use this. You don't have to climb the tree to start it. You can use the remote to begin recording. If you can't get a tripod, just make sure that you have a nice, steady place to set your camera on, okay, so that it's not jumping all over the place. Okay, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And again, please stop me at any time, raise your hand, or just unmute and ask me questions. It's nice to have headphones, but again, not needed. Cue cards, you're gonna need those later for when you start filming, making films, or doing a news broadcast. A whiteboard is nice if you wanna do something called stop action films, which are really cool. Or large white construction paper is great for holding underneath your subject, and it captures the light and it puts light on your subject. So it's nice to have some white construction paper. A green screen, I see some of you do have it. Again, it's not necessary because we're going to be using WeVideo, and the green screen feature only requires you to have a nice solid background. So some of you are sitting and your walls are completely blank behind you. That will work, a solid wall. But the green screen will work as long as you don't have anything behind you. My background would not work as long as it's solid. And it has to be well lit. That is one of the biggest things. And of course, I'll remind you about these things later. Lighting sources are also really important. Flashlights, lamps, table lamps, overhead lights, these all work. for getting yourself some lighting on your subjects. Okay, so that's the items recommended, not required for the course. The only thing that is a camera. Down below, you have our meeting times and Zoom links. You're in block 2, but if you ever have a time constraint or you're not going to be here during that time, you can attend block 1 or block 3. It's okay. And if you ever have to miss class, don't worry, because I'm going to be recording our sessions. And then down below is my contact information. There's my email. And I also have office hours every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10:30 a.m. I can also meet on Mondays and Fridays. We're going to be doing a lot of things in a very fast pace. So if you ever need assistance with anything, I am here for you. My Mondays and Fridays are also open for class. So if you need to meet on those days, all you need to do is let me know. Here's the Zoom information for my office hours. And I was there today. I'll be there tomorrow. Okay. So I'm going to drop over to our modules, our module page, and here's our today's introductions, expectations, and camera tips. And there's my little meme. I made that using WeVideo. Took me 10 minutes. These are the kinds of things, the little things that we'll learn how to do that are fun. Okay, so first things first, our warm-up. I want you to handle the first 2 things right now. I'm going to give you about, I don't know, about 5 minutes or so. The attendance, it's important to take attendance. It's important that you're here. So you'll click on this link. Just tell me your first name and last name, and then what block you attend on a regular basis, like what you're registered for. And then also go to the icebreaker, which is a discussion, and go ahead and respond to the this or that question. It's just a fun question. What's worse, bad breath or body odor? And explain why. Very important when you're a filmmaker for people not to have body odor or bad breath. Okay, so I give you about 8 minutes. Go ahead and do attendance and the icebreaker. And I'll be watching in the background. It looks like most people think body odor is worse. I think I might agree with that. Don't forget to respond to some other people in the discussion. All right, did everybody get a chance to answer the attendance? That's the most important part. Give me a thumbs up, or you can, just raise your hand just so I know. You can take a look through. Looks like everybody's giving me a thumbs up. Okay, if you haven't done attendance yet, please make sure you do it. It's important. And then we'll be ready to go in about another minute. All right, guys, thank you for participating in that icebreaker. Looks like body odor is definitely the winner of that. You'd rather not be dealing with that, and I agree. So let's look at our tasks that we're going to be doing today. The class expectations, participate, be on time, be brave, try something new, ask questions, and have fun. I want this class to be fun over everything. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is camera tips. And the most basic technique is framing a shot. And that's when you're looking in that little, when you're looking at your smartphone and you're looking in the rectangle to get your shot framed, or if you're looking at a digital camera, it's the little rectangle that you're looking into. That's your frame. And when a good photographer takes a picture, they have this grid in their mind to frame their picture so that they want people to look at what's the most important part of the shot and where you want people to pay attention. And a good photographer will place their subjects along these lines where the lines intersect. Usually horizons, if you'll see in the second picture, horizons are usually down at the bottom along that horizontal line. So take a look at all of those examples And I want you to think about, where do your eyes go? When you first look at that picture, where are your eyes? What's the first thing that they focus in on?
I think they focus in more on the lighting, what time of day they're taking the picture.
Definitely lighting. Yes, a good photographer takes advantage of lighting. Good. Go ahead. Anybody, if they want to add, where do your eyes go? What do you pay attention to?
The subject.
The subject of the picture. Good. Anybody else want to chime in? Feel free. Just, unmute yourself and just say, just make a quick comment about where your eyes go when you look at some of those pictures. You can talk about each individual picture. Like if you just want to say where your eyes go for the picture of the Joker, anything goes. No right or wrong answer. Be brave.
It's on the side, right side with 3, 6 square.
Are you talking about the Joker picture?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is. It's on the side and they have it lined up with that 3rd, 6th, and 9th square. Good.
Yes, that's correct.
Good.
For the 4th picture, my eyes are directly drawn to the reflection in the water of the horses.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I look at that picture, that's the first thing I look at is that reflection, and it's along that horizontal line down at the bottom. How about the dog pictures? Is the first thing you look at the dog, or are you looking at the landscape?
The thing I was looking at the dogs.
So you focus in on the dog right away?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Thumbs up if you focus on the dog right away. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they do. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that one.
I do too. Another question to think about. Anything else you notice about how the subjects are placed in the frame? Not necessarily thinking about the rule of thirds, but look at the subject of each picture. Where does the photographer place them?
I think like they place the subject like on the sides, not really in the middle.
Yeah, it's not in the middle. If you look at each one of those pictures, they're slightly off center. That is another basic technique of a good photographer. It's more interesting to angle your subjects and not place them just in the center. It makes for a more interesting picture. The only time you would ever frame your subject in the center is when you are doing a news broadcast, because you want the newscaster's face to be the point of focus. That would be the only real time that you would put your subject in the center of your frame. But of course, you may find as the photographer or the filmmaker that you want to put something in the center. You are the photographer, you are the videographer. You can make up your own rules, but those are 2 techniques that a lot of photographers use. Okay, so we're gonna watch a really quick film clip on the rule of thirds.
There are rules that need to be followed. Everyone has probably heard of the rule of thirds, and although it is one of the most basic rules in video, it's essential to keep in mind. The rule of thirds divides the frame into a 3x3 grid, with the lines and intersections being ideal areas to frame your subject. When framing subjects, the eyes should line up on the topmost line. Framing your subject in the center is usually a poor choice and should only be used when intentionally trying to draw the viewer's attention to the center. Again, use the rule of thirds to shift your subject to the left or rightmost lines, keeping them off center and looking in the opposite direction. It's important to use this leading space to determine which side your actor should be on. You generally don't want to place an actor on the same side that they're facing, as this creates too much negative space on the opposite side.
Okay, so that's just a quick introduction to the rule of thirds. We'll be talking a lot more about it because it is something that I want you to keep in mind as you take your camera shots and as you set up your film shots. Are there any questions at all that you have about the rule of thirds? the main reason why we're talking about it is so that you can start thinking about that when you're setting up your frames, because it's just a really good technique for photographers to use. I know you probably haven't thought about it too much. Hopefully now you'll be more aware of it, because it does make for better shots. When you are using your phone, you should take your video horizontally, okay? You want it to fill up the whole frame. The only time you would choose square would be if what you're going to show your picture or video is a square. That's when you would choose square. Otherwise, leave it as a regular shot and keep your phone horizontal. You know that if you take video this way, did you ever notice that there's black lines on either side when you upload the video? Yeah, that's not a good look. So that's why you want to leave your phone horizontal when you are videoing. It's more important with videoing. You can take pictures this way, really good pictures. It just depends on what you want to show. Primarily when taking video and you're doing it with a cell phone, keep it horizontal. Does anybody else have any questions about that rule of thirds? Okay, I just want you to start being more aware of it, okay? Because that's going to help you to make really good frames for your videos. Okay, I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. Next up is we're gonna talk a little bit about close-ups and the types of shots, like close-ups, medium shots, wide shots. There are tons of camera shots. These are the 3 basic ones. We're going to talk about a lot of them, but we're going to start with these 3 because they're the most basic. Tonight for homework, I'm going to have you do a little bit of experimenting with taking these kinds of shots. First off is, of course, the close-up. This is a close-up of a dragonfly. You'll notice that the person who took this picture wants you to concentrate on this beautiful insect. They don't want you to concentrate as much as what's in the background, which is why it looks a little fuzzier. That's the beauty of a close-up, is that you really look at what is right there in front of your eyes, which is this dragonfly. Close-ups can be very effective. Then you have this medium shot. This, of course, is a film shot. It comes from the Hunger Games. The videographer chose a medium shot where you can only see the actress from her waist up. And the focus is really on what she's doing, which is shooting a bow and arrow. And you'll notice that in the shot, you don't know what she's shooting at. So that is a good film technique, because it leaves the viewer wondering, oh, where's that arrow going? Okay. And then your wide shot is really effective when you are trying to show people the geography or the setting of your story or of your film or of your picture. So in here, this is from the film The Martian, and you see that lonely astronaut sitting on a rock on the surface of Mars. And you would not know where he was if it was a close-up or even a medium shot. You wouldn't necessarily understand where the actor was. So they are all used for different reasons. And that's what we're going to discuss next. So go ahead and click on the link for our second discussion, choices of shots. And our question about choices of shots, or think about the reasons why a photographer or a filmmaker would choose to use each type of shot. Why might they choose a close-up over a medium shot or a wide shot? Why might they choose a wide shot? So go ahead and think about why photographers might make those choices between shots. I'll give you about 5 minutes. Go ahead and take some time to answer the discussion. You as a videographer and as a photographer are going to have to get more in tune with why would you choose a close-up shot for this part of your film or this part of your photograph. You're going to have to be thinking about those reasons, because you're going to become that photographer and that videographer, and you're going to have to make decisions about What's the best shot for this piece of action? Is it going to be good to be a wide shot, and why? Is it better if I take that same subject and make it a close-up? Will that be better for my video? Will that make my video better? Will it make the movie more interesting or my photograph more interesting? You as the photographer, as the boss, you're going to have to start to get more comfortable with making those kinds of decisions. Okay. Any questions about types of shots? Yeah, a filmmaker has to think about a lot of things when they're taking pictures and taking videos. That's why they do a lot of them, because if they take them from different angles and take them with those different types of framing shots, they can pick which ones they think are the best and put them all together to create a fantastic product, which is what I hope we're going to be learning how to do. So we'll watch a quick video. Actually, it's about a 5-minute video, and that'll take us almost up to the end of class. So that'll give us just enough time to talk a little bit about the homework and some tips for getting your still shots. Okay, so again, this is about a 5-minute video on the types of camera shots and why videographers and photographers choose them over others.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Tomorrow's Filmmakers. My name is Justice McCraney, and today we're going to be talking about types of shots. Now, this isn't camera movement, this isn't camera angles or anything like that. This is different types of shots that you can get with your camera, so that whenever you guys are storyboarding, writing a script, whatever, and the scene calls for a full shot or a medium close-up or a master shot, you guys will know what that means. So let's talk about all those different types of shots and then also how to put them into a scene. So first off, let's just start by showing you the different types of shots and what they're called, starting from really far away and getting really close. So the first shot is called an extreme wide shot, and this isn't just kind of wide, this is really, really wide. This could be used to establish a location, show that he's on a battlefield, show where our character is in relation to somebody else. This is a really, really wide shot. Establishes where your characters are, where they're going. It's a wider shot of your two characters talking so you know where they're at. Now, an establishing shot doesn't actually have to show people. It can just show a building, show a carnival, to show that they went to a carnival. So an establishing shot shows where your characters are, where they're going, so it doesn't confuse your audience. And the next shot is just a wide shot. So we had an extreme wide shot, now we're at a wide shot, which is a little bit closer than the extreme wide shot, but it's not just seeing his full body. You're seeing a lot more than that because it's still really wide. The next shot is called a full shot, and this is a little bit closer, but you can still see our entire character's body. You can see from his toes all the way to his head, like a full body shot. That's why it's called a full shot. After the full shot, we have the medium full shot, which is a little bit closer. You can see about knees up on our subject. Then you have the medium shot, which is going to be one half of our subject. So it's going to be the hips up. You'll be able to see one half of our subject. Then you're going to have a medium close-up to our subject, and that's going to be a little bit closer than a medium shot, but it's not going to be a close-up. It's going to be a medium close-up, so it's going to be in between. So it's going to be about chest up on our subject. And after the medium close-up, we cut to a close-up, which is just going to be our subject's head. His entire head from the neck to the top of his head. And after the close-up, we punch in even farther to have an extreme close-up. And this is going to be focusing on one aspect of our character's face. In this instance, we're focusing on his eyes. That would be an extreme close-up. If we wanted to focus on his mouth, or his hair, or his nose, or a scratch on his face, or whatever you want to focus on, that would be an extreme close-up. It's not showing his full head. You're punching in even more to focus on one area of his face, or an object, or a situation, or a person, or something like that. So I know that it's pretty simple and kind of just like, okay, I got that, but I want you guys to understand what they're called so that if you're writing your script and you say, hey, I want the camera to go from a medium full shot to a close-up, you'll know exactly what that means. That means medium full shot that's going to be from knees up to a close-up, just his head. So as you can see, different types of shots have different names, they're used for different purposes, they're used for different reasons. So I hope this video has really helped you out on understanding these types of shots. So whenever you're storyboarding, writing a script, whatever it is, you know what they're called. Hey, we're gonna do an establishing shot, then we're gonna cut to a close-up, then we're gonna cut to a medium full shot, and you'll know what those mean. So go get your brothers and sisters and friends and start practicing all of these shots with establishing shots, master shots, over the shoulder shots. Try all these different types of shots and see if you can create a scene like we did.
Okay, how many of you thought that was going to be a scary movie when you first heard the music? Because I definitely did. And I thought that was clever because it led you, with the music and the types of shots, it led you to believe that that was going to be a scary movie. But it turned out to be just two boys playing a serious game of Monopoly.
Like comedy movie. Like,
Yeah, a comedy movie. Absolutely. I like that twist. So you can see what music will do to your movies, what it adds, and what the types of shots that you take and what it adds. Okay, so we're almost done with class. So tonight's homework is going to be, and it doesn't have to be done by tomorrow. You have an entire week to play around with this homework, but tonight's homework is to take lots of pictures. I want you to take pictures using a medium shot, a close-up, a wide shot, different angles. Try an over-the-shoulder shot. Try all those things that you saw in that video. Go back to the video and take a look at it again. I want you to also be thinking of that rule of thirds. And try to see it when you're framing out a film sequence or a photograph. I think I would spend more time taking pictures tonight than taking video, because taking those pictures is going to help you with creating good video later. So some things to keep in mind: getting the best still shots and video footage. Keep your shots short, 10 to 12 seconds. If you're taking video, that doesn't apply for photographs, but take a lot of photographs. If you're going to take video, keep each clip really short, 10 to 12 seconds. Take a lot of video, but keep each clip short. Stand still. Make sure that your video is not moving all over the place. Zoom in with your feet. That means walk up to your subject. Unless you have a really good professional camera with a good zoom lens, you're going to need to get close to your subject if you want to take a close-up shot. And then keep in mind, when recording with a phone, with a smartphone, keep it horizontal. There's also a really short video that you can do for homework too. Record better video in 3 easy steps. The homework is right here. When you open it up, it's going to give you the directions, but it's also going to prompt you to open up the homework in a new window. You can look at that homework and see what it looks like, but again, you do not need to turn it in. We're going to discuss tomorrow how to turn in homework in my MCPS classroom, okay? So tonight, just take a lot of photographs, experiment. Don't think about the rule of thirds and take a bunch of pictures, and then do think about the rule of thirds and take a bunch of pictures and compare. Are they better? Try to see. Okay, so the goal tonight, take lots of pictures. And tomorrow, we're going to spend some time doing things with video. So you won't be listening so much, you'll be listening a little and doing a little, okay? So I'm going to stop our share. And this has been a great class. Thank you for participating. And is there any final questions before we go? You don't need to worry about video for today. Just take pictures with your smartphone or your digital camera or your Chromebook. There are directions on how you take pictures with a Chromebook included in the homework. So if all you have is a Chromebook for tonight, follow those directions for taking pics with a Chromebook if you don't know how to use the camera, okay? Any other questions for tonight or for anything else in general? Have fun. I'll see you tomorrow.